Hello, my marvelous Algebra 3 students. Today we will review our homework before you take the quiz. Our first homework problem was the ellipse. X squared divided by 36 plus y squared divided by 4 equals 1. Remember, for an ellipse, it must always be equal to 1. Since nothing is being subtracted from the x or the y, the center is 0, 0, the origin. A squared is always the larger denominator. And if the larger denominator, since it's under the x variable, then the major axis is going to be horizontal. The square root of 36 is 6. The b squared is 4, which will be the other denominator. The square root of 4 is 2, and sometimes they put like plus or minus 2 or plus or minus 6 because we're going to be going in opposite directions. The length of the major axis, since it's horizontal, you're going to be looking at the A, and the length of the major axis is always 2 times the A, which is 12. 2 times the A, which is 12. The length of the minor axis will be 2 times the B. Well, always move from the center, so the center is the origin. Since it's a horizontal axis, you see half of 12 is 6. So you go from 0 to 6 to the right, from 0 to 6 to the left, and that's 6 plus 6, which is 12. So the length of the entire major axis is 12 units. Then from the center you go up 2 units, from the center you go down 2 units, and you have 2 plus 2, which is 4. The length of the entire minor axis is 4 units. And that is one sketch of that graph. Now, I may be going sort of fast, but I have to get this all in. And we've already gone over this. Most of you have already turned in the home practice always. Okay, the next problem that we had, day 2, was where we had to find the foci points, or sometimes we just say focus points. So here, we started off with the x squared divided by 25 plus the y squared divided by 4 equals 1. And see, this is our standard form right here, where you have the a squared in the denominator, the b squared in the denominator here. And remember, the a squared is always the larger denominator, okay? So our a squared is 25, is under the x term, the x variable rather. So we're going to have a major axis again that is what? Horizontal. And then the b will be the other denominator, and that's going to be plus or minus 2 when you take the square root. And the b is 2, and the minus just means we're moving in what? Opposite directions. Nothing was being subtracted from the x or the y, so the center is at the origin, 0, 0. And the a is 5, horizontal axis. Always move from the center. 5 units to the right, 5 units to the left. Then the minor axis, 2 units up and 2 units down. And that is a sketch of the ellipse. But they ask us to find the focus points, or the foci points. And you have to know the C. You've got to know the C in order to find the focus points. So we have to know this formula right here. This is a formula that you have to know, that c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. Well, from the formula, we've got the a squared and the b squared. When we subtract, we get 21. Take the square root, we get plus or minus the square root of 21, which is approximately what? 4.6. And the foci points are always on the major axis. The foci points are always on the major axis. So you start at the origin, you move square root of 21 units to the right, which is like approximately 4.6, and to the left, a negative square root of 21, which is approximately a negative 4.6. The foci points are always on the major axis. So we would indicate the foci points. You see, here's the center, the coordinates. We're moving left and right. We're moving left and right. So if you're moving left and right, you're changing an x. So you'll be adding that plus or minus square root of 21 to the x coordinate, and the y coordinate stays the same. So here we have square root of 21, comma 1, and negative square root of 21, comma 0, comma, 0. These are the coordinates of the foci points. The third homework that we had a center that was not at the origin. We had a center that was not at the origin. Well, first of all, we take the opposite of the numbers that are here. You see x minus 2, we're going to have x equals 2. X minus 4, you're going to have y equals 4. And remember that that was where we take the x minus 2, set it equal to 0, so x equals 2. And we take the y minus 4 and set it equal to 0, so we have y is equal to what? 4. And that's how we're getting our the center coordinates. And then the a is the same as we've been doing before. The larger denominator, and it's under the x variable, so the major axis is going to be horizontal, and the square root of 49 is plus or minus is 7, and the b square is 25. When we take the square root of that, we get plus or minus 5, which is 5. And then we're going to sketch it. But we have to first of all sketch the center. You see, here's the center right here. So I'm just estimating this. I go to the right 2 and up 4. So here's my center. Horizontal axis is going to be the major axis. Always move from the center. So it's 7 units. So we go from 2, 7 units here. So that's 2 plus 7, which is 9. Then we go to the left 7 units, and that's going to be 2 plus a negative 7, which is what, a negative 5. But anyway, you go here, count 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then go to the opposite direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the minor axis was 25, but the B was what, 5. So you go up 5, then you go what, down what, 5. And that is a sketch of the ellipse where the center is not at the origin. And then the last one, sometimes they don't write the ellipse as in the standard form, and we have to do that. So right here, you see, when you have the standard form, you always have to have it equal to 1. That's the standard form. It has to be equal to 1. So you divide whatever this number is, you divide it by itself, like 64 divided by 64. But to keep the equation equivalent, you have to divide all 3 terms by 64. 4 and 4 once, 4 and 64 16 times. 16 and 16 once, 16 and 64 4. And again, the a square is going to be the 16. The b square is the 4. The center, nothing is being subtracted from the x and y. The center is the origin. The larger denominator is under the x variable, so the major axis is going to be horizontal. And then I gave you one like this. You see, we don't have it equal to 1. So whatever this number is, we're going to divide all 3 terms by the 36. 9 into 9 once, 9 into 36. 4, 4 into 4 once, 4 into 36, 9. The 9 is the a squared because it's the larger denominator. Remember the center, you see how we just said each binomial, set it equal to 0 and solve for x. Or remember to take the opposite of what's here. And this should have been a minus right here. So let me change that right quick. This should have been a minus and I had a plus. So this should be minus right there. And our center there will be what? 1, negative 2. But this time the major axis is vertical because the larger denominator is under there. And I think that's about it. That's all we had to do is answer these 3 things. So good luck on the quiz tomorrow, and always remember to stop, rewind, review. Stop, rewind, review. Your quiz will be under your coursework, under assignments, and it's labeled March 27, 2020 quiz, and it's N+ Portals. So good luck tomorrow.